Elon Musk. People don't realize what's happening. Elon Musk was asked if other civilizations could exist on other planets. His answer was interesting. Because of the unique difficulties of being an interplanetary species, we're often asked about the existence of extraterrestrial life and the possible existence of other civilizations somewhere in the universe. Lex Friedman, in an interview with the podcast host Lex Friedman, asked the question again. Musk replied that other civilizations existed elsewhere in space but could not travel between planets. For this reason, we have never seen or experienced any evidence of their existence. Answers the question at the heart of the famous Fermi paradox, which attempts to explain why extraterrestrial life we have never seen exists. Elon said there are probably very few civilizations on other planets that died without being able to create it. Musk believes that these other civilizations disappeared before they could achieve interplanetary colonization. So their extinction was inevitable because they could not pass the Great Filter because of wars and natural disasters. He argues that humans are similarly threatened with extinction. If you can't achieve interplanetary status either, that means defeating the Great Filter. But to get through a really big filter, interplanetary habitation has to be self-sufficient, because according to him, being multiplanetary is life insurance for living things. This means ensuring human survival. In another interview on Lex Friedman's podcast, Musk talks about the need to reach Mars and why sustainability is so important to the survival of human colonies on the surface of Mars. As he says, Martian colonies must be self-sustaining to pass this large filter. If something happens to the people who live there, it will also disappear. This means that the consequences of poor planning and poor preparation can determine human progress. Successful colonies on Mars require everything to build sustainable habitats. A great deal of research and engineering is required to find the techniques and tools for it. So what exactly are sustainable habitats on Mars, and how far away are they? We probably won't go back. Should they try? This means that Martian habitats need food, shelter, and water for their inhabitants. Given the conditions on the fourth planet from the Sun, it will be very difficult and will require a fail-safe plan to ensure the success of farm buildings and water resources. As Musk puts it, Mars is the most hospitable planet and the most inhospitable planet. They're made up almost entirely of carbon dioxide, so stepping onto the surface of the Earth requires a lot of protective gear. Most researchers even recommend building subsurface Mars colonies for radiation. This helps protect your community from harmful UV rays. Musk has suggested covering the roofs of homes on Earth with a layer of Martian soil, but it's unclear if that would provide adequate protection. Either way, for a Martian colony to become self-sustaining, it will either need to build with materials that already exist on Mars, or bring the materials it needs and find a sustainable way to produce them once it lands on the planet. Without proper protection, inhabitants cannot survive the harsh conditions of the surface. Not only do you need shelter, your self-sufficient Mars city also needs a way to grow and produce food. In speculating about the future of Mars, the Musk colony says we have the ability to transport plants and animals to the planet with us, and their survival builds facilities that can accommodate non-human life. I explained that it depends on the ability to. Some of the same questions that build animal shelters are where these facilities will be built and what materials will likely allow plants and animals introduced to Earth to thrive and reproduce, if they survive their journey from Earth. But they also need to be able to use materials from Mars to create sustainable methods of farming. On the one hand, the large amount of plant life helps ensure that oxygen levels are as high as they need to be sustained. Animal life and human life, pretty big. There have been doubts about renewable water sources in the past. NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, along with its predecessor, showed the presence of once existing rivers and oceans on Mars. Additionally, the poles of Mars can cool to minus 195 degrees Fahrenheit, and carbon dioxide can also freeze at these temperatures, so each pole of the planet has an eye layer. It is difficult to tell whether these plates are carbon dioxide ice or water ice. The full composition is still unknown, but the rover used infrared scans to determine the potential for water ice. In the Martian dust mixture at the south pole of Mars, another rover also used radar technology to interpret signals for the presence of liquid water beneath the Antarctic ice cap. If water was liquid at these temperatures, it likely contains salty salts, so at least there is water on Mars. The biggest argument for creating a self-sufficient Mars habitat is the idea of terraforming, radically altering the atmospheric pressure to make the planet habitable without the need for life systems or breathing apparatus. As it currently exists, the atmosphere on Mars is mostly carbon dioxide and is so dilute that humans would die very quickly without proper equipment. A proposed way to change the atmospheric pressure is to release the CO2 currently trapped on the surface of Mars. In 2015, Elon Musk proposed dropping nuclear weapons in the poles to melt the current ice there, but his 2018 study by his NASA scientists, published in the journal Nature Astronomy, shows that there isn't enough CO2 on Earth to raise atmospheric pressure to acceptable levels. Also, there is currently a lack of technology that enables terraforming. That said, the right technology isn't always in short supply. Because there are still a few more years before Musk plans to send humans to Mars, new discoveries and technological advances may bring us closer to answering these sustainability questions. Becoming a multiplanetary species and passing the infamous big filter requires a lot of logistics though. Elon Musk and SpaceX are certainly up to the task. We'll have to wait until the first Starship shuttle flies to Mars to see what they come up with. Because we all know Elon Musk is very successful in the field of space exploration. Many success stories in space. Musk works hard every day to make his Mars goals come true. Will he succeed? Well, time will tell. And finally, if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. It will be a great support for the channel.